Hi guys, this is Scribbly again with another pen review, and today we are going to have a look at the Caran Dash pen. This is the first Caran Dash pen that I review, and it's a pen that has been expected by many. First of all, because it's the first fountain pen with which Caran Dash has actually sort of moved into the entry price or more entry price fountain pen segment. So this is the 849 here that costs 55 euro, which is about the price of a Lamy Studio or something like that. So quite competitively priced there in the mid price range sort of fountain pen segment. Caran d'Ache did not have an offering in that segment before they came out with the 849 fountain pen. And then of course the 849 fountain pen, this iconic shape is the sort of fountain pen model of the iconic 849 ballpoint pen that is an iconic part of the stationery world. So many people were really interested in Caran d'Ache actually making that pen available. Also as a fountain pen, it comes in a very nice looking, I just love the design, the whole appearance of that box already. Caran d'Ache Genève has the Caran d'Ache logo here on the side. The back of the cardboard box, made in Switzerland. The whole pen is manufactured in Switzerland as far as I understand. Caran d'Ache extra fine. Plume Vernis Noir, the black version of the pen. Yeah, that's it. Open up the box, find a business card, very beautiful business card by the way, of Fontoplumo in the Netherlands. Frank has sent me that pen for review because I was really interested in reviewing that for you guys. Thanks a lot. Whoops. Thanks a lot, Frank, for enjoy. Thanks. I will enjoy. I have enjoyed the pen. Thanks for sending that pen to me for review, Frank. I appreciate that a lot. Pen came with a sticker here, extra fine, and then just rests in here. Came with one ink cartridge that is in the pen. Very simple, very nice package that really fits the overall appearance of the pen. Quite like that. So the pen itself, I got the black version here. It comes in a number of different colors. I don't know, blue, yellow, pink, red, whatever. Some neon colors, and then I think also another matte blue, a little bit more muted. I went for the muted black version here because I'm just like black and silver pens, something that I like. It's a longer pen, has those facets here that the 849 ballpoint of course also has, is famous for. The iconic, can twist and turn it around here, that iconic shape. Has a silver finial here with a very subtle sort of brushed Caran d'Ache logo here, which I find really nicely done. Then of course the iconic 849 clip here that just like a little bit like a hook comes up here and then goes down like that. That is a very nice, soft, springy clip that is really, really easy to operate, really wonderful, beautiful design, of course. You have Swiss made up here on the cap, and then I really like that feature that if you turn the pen a little bit like that, you see the 849 Caran d'Ache under the clip. When the pen just lays on your desk like here, there's not a lot of like, you know, logo jumping into you and branding almost like jumping into your face, poking your eye out. But if you play around with the pen a little bit, if you twist it, if you turn it, you see that you own a Caran d'Ache 849, which I find is beautifully done. The whole pen, don't be fooled, is not plastic. Before I did my research and really looked into the pen, when I saw the first images of that pen popping up around the internet, I thought it's a plastic pen. It's not. That is aluminium. That is aluminium. A very lightweight pen, but of course the aluminium gives it a lot more quality feel to it than if it would be plastic. And then at the end here you just have a highly glossy end cap with a ridge around, and I'll show that in a minute, as used to post the cap. You could point out that it might be annoying for some perfectionists that here can rotate and you couldn't actually misalign the facets. I don't mind, you know, I just wanted you to know that there is no mechanism that sort of helps you aligning those parts or those facets here of the pen that could actually rotate, but the cap will not come off at all. It's a pop-off cap, really nice, really convenient, because it makes it a super quick note taker, clicks into place with a very satisfying click. That is really nice. As said, makes it a quick note taker that you can just uncap it like that. It has this little metal thing sticking out here, which is not really sharp. Then you can post the pen. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I find, because first of all, it doesn't post overly securely. I can just, you see, get it off like that if I want to. I mean, it won't just fly off, but it does not really post super securely. And also, you know, I mean, the pen becomes very, very long, looks just a little bit odd. I already have quite large hands. Like that, nice pen, really good size. A very lightweight pen, as said, it's aluminum, very thin section. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But very nice pen, good length. Really no point in posting that pen. We have a inner cap in here, which prevents the nib from drying out. Works very well. I had that pen capped and down for 2 weeks, uncapped it, and it came up right away. Very nice. That works very well. Then we have a really beautiful nib design here. That is a really, I don't even know how I can describe the shape of the nib. The closest I find it is comparable to is maybe the Lamy Z50 nib, or this newly shaped nib of the Lamy Ion. That's also about the size that that nib has. If I compare that to a Lamy Safari nib that I have here, that will serve as a size reference in a minute as well. That is about the size. That is about the size of this nib, right? Very beautiful nib. I really enjoy the design of that nib because I just think it really melts in with the overall design of the pen. It just looks really, really beautiful in my opinion. It has no breather hole. It has the Caran logo on here, and it says EF for extra fine, and it just has a regular plastic feed. We then have a very, very narrow section. This really is a thin section, and if you like chunkier pens, this is probably not a pen for you. But you may want to give that pen a try, because I normally don't like thinner pens, and I was really worried when I saw that section, like thinking is a plastic section, by the way. Oh, this pen might be impossible for me to write with. I might get cramps in my hands and all that, which all did not happen. I can't explain you why, but the pen is actually really comfortable to hold, to my surprise. And even for slightly longer writing sessions, now I've not written a book with that pen, but I've written like 2 A4 pages and I had no problem. It is really a thin section, but it's comfortable to hold for some reason, as is this massive step down here from the barrel onto the section. I also thought that that will cause issues when you hold onto that. I can also not exactly explain you why, but it actually is no issue. So, I mean, if you're someone that grabs your pen a little bit higher and you would prefer the chunkier grip, you could technically hold the pen up here on the barrel and write with the pen. You would still have enough space here, and again, I have slightly larger hands, to rest the pen in that part of your hand here. You can hold it here, almost where the step down from barrel to section is, and I think it is because that part here is slightly rounded. It honestly is not uncomfortable. It's either it's genius design or it's my mind playing tricks on me, but even if I try to think of it as being uncomfortable, it's just not. Great design, I guess. It's really well made, and well, even at the thinner part here of the section, for some reason, I don't have any problems writing with that pen. I just wanted to point that out. That's why I spent a couple of seconds more on that part than I would normally do. Let's unscrew the pen. It is a cartridge filling pen. It came with Caran Idyllic Blue. That is a short standard international cartridge. That whole front part here is plastic, but of course metal barrel, so no eyedropper conversion. but the pen also does fit a long standard international cartridge, or you can just like throw in a regular Schmidt converter or whatever. Size comparison. Here is the Lamy Safari that we already had, and I think it is safe to say that this is pretty much exactly the same length as a Lamy Safari, but it's maybe a tad longer, a millimeter or so, but like honestly, it's basically the same size. But of course you see that it is a thinner pen compared to the Lamy Safari. Uncapped, it is a bit shorter than the Lamy Safari, and now you also see why I said, like, even if you hold the pen up here, you could still write with it, and it's really not overly uncomfortable also like that, because it's the Lamy Safari is a fairly long pen, and that pen here is also the 849. It's by no means a short pen. And again, if I compare the section to the section of a Lamy Safari, you do see what I mean by this section being a thin section. Let me see if I have a pencil here. I have a Muji pencil here. That's about maybe a little bit more, but maybe the same diameter than your average pencil, right? So yeah, thin section. Posting, as said, the pen gets ridiculously long because of course with that posting mechanism it can't post deep onto the barrel. It's even longer than a Lamy Safari, and I already find the Lamy Safari way too long to write with when posted. It's just a super long pen. That one here is even longer. Completely ridiculous to post that bad boy here. Towards the end of the review, let's jump into a writing sample. It's a very pleasant nib to write with, I have to say. It has a little bit of feedback, just that amount of feedback that lets you know that you're actually writing, and otherwise is a fairly smooth nib. Caran 849 with an extra fine nib. And I think that extra fine nib here is really a true to the size Western extra fine nib. A Japanese fine will be finer than that even, but it's a good Western extra fine nib. It's a nice extra fine nib. Wetness, it's a pen that is slightly on the wetter side. This paper here is a bit more absorbent, but you see it's still wet enough. I can't tell you much about the Caran ink that is in here because I don't have a lot of experiences with that ink, so it's hard for me to tell if the wetness comes from the ink or from the pen really, but I do have the feeling that that is a pen that writes on the slightly wetter side, which is something that I find really nice, especially if you have an extra fine nib, and if you have a pen that then writes on the wetter side, will still allow you to show off some and see some ink properties such as shading and so on. Frank, I thank you again very much for sending me this interesting pen for review. I quite enjoyed that pen. I think for 55 euro, there's nothing much you can do wrong with that pen. It's a good price point for this pen, I guess. And I think that Caran actually landed a success with that pen, because the 849 ballpoint really is popular among so many stationery users and pen users. And now there's also a fountain pen version out of that pen. Nice move. I enjoyed that pen. Thanks again, Frank. I hope the review was useful to you guys, and I'll see you at the next review. Bye bye.